Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome to a best of 3 here between Trap in the bottom left spawning as the blue Protoss player. In the top right spawning as the red Terran. It's going to be Cure here. Cure sending out his first SCV immediately across the map. And what is this pattern? It's gonna take a look at the watchtower, see that nothing's going on. Then proxy a barrack somewhere over here, I assume. Interesting location. Looks to me like it's going to be a bit of a proxy reaper here. I'm curious to see what our good friend Trap has in store. Is he going to scout behind his own natural? No, he won't. He's going to send this probe straight away across the map. And I think the reason why Trap does that is because he has a pretty standard response to a proxy Rex. Oh my god. Wait, what is this? Oh, this is a proxy marauder, actually. Okay, this barracks is too late though, so there is some interesting things going on here. We'll see if Trap catches on, because this barracks is obviously not a standard barracks first. Another barracks has been built before it, and now it's on Trap to figure out that that's the case. So usually a barracks would finish at 127. And a gas first barracks would finish at 132. This barracks finishes at 133. It's not the end of the world. Full wall, gas first. This is basically what right now is in Trap's mind. However, this actually was a barracks with a refinery. So Trap could be responding potentially here to a gas first. He's gonna see this marine. So now he knows, he's probably going to be a little bit suspicious, because often with gas first it's going to be a Reaper first. He knows now that at least there's not going to be a command center anywhere in the main base. It's just simply not viable. This has to be factory before command center, or it has to be a second Rex proxied. And right now it's a second Rex proxied. Stargate is absolutely the correct call. For everything that Trap has scouted so far, this is 100% correct. Another thing he should be doing is getting a battery on the low ground, I do believe. I do believe that is necessary here. He's not going to be doing it so far though. He's going to straight away send this adept across the map, and this looks bad, but actually this might be okay, because you do find these marines, which is helpful. There's 2 marauders moving in right now. We'll be able to take out this pylon. Well, first the probe, then the pylon. Is there a probe pool here? No, we have an adept on the high ground. We have a battery on the high ground. And we have a Stargate, which is now going to be done. He needs to cancel the warp gate here, actually, in order to start his first units. Not going to be doing that. Okay, yeah. There goes the cancel on the warp gate. Starts the void ray immediately. No chrono boost available currently. He wants to start chrono boosting that, obviously. I feel like Cure was a little bit slow with getting up to this high ground. Now we'll be capable of targeting down that battery. I think this Nexus is absolute toast here. Oh, adept with a bit of a flank. More marines are marching in as well. I think at this point that even this barrack should be building marines, because Cure is aware of the fact that there is a Stargate. I mean, he's never going to lose a ground battle. He just should preserve these marines. He's not going to preserve that marine. He is going to preserve that one marine, but he only has 1 marine left at this point. Second marine is somewhere. These marauders are going to walk straight into void ray damage. I don't quite understand that. I feel like they should have been walking closer to that bunker. And if that, because then maybe you can still get the Nexus at least. Right now I'm not so sure if a Nexus is even viable to kill. This marine staying at home, kind of sloppy play honestly out of Cure. I feel like if he would have controlled this better, would have had more adequate responses to what he saw, that this still should have been a win, because there was no battery on the low ground. There was nothing to fight these marauders. Cancelling your opponent's natural or killing your opponent's natural is sufficient with this build order. You don't need to necessarily kill them. He tried to go for the kill and he lost all of his marines during it. He should have been tanking with his marauders. But rather than tanking with his marauders, he was tanking with his marines. And I mean, that's just painful. These 2 stalkers will find the final marauder as well. And as a result, we have Cure down about 300, well, 250 minerals lost. There is 6 marines, 8 marines at home. This void ray is going to try to clear a couple of these SCVs. Let's not forget that this command center is extremely delayed here. This Nexus is already going ham. There's a Twilight Council done. We have an Oracle on the way. See some nice control on these void rays. Not only capable of fighting these SCVs, but of course also completely capable of taking out a lone marine that is walking around somewhere. You see that Cure is just so afraid of these void rays flying through towards the natural. trying to cancel that natural CC is that Cure kind of lost a couple of SCVs in the main base because of that. It makes a lot of sense. There's just not a whole lot that he can do at this point, I feel like, or not a whole lot that feels good for him. We're gonna see one more SCV go down, one Marine going into the red right now. The Oracle starts to rotate in towards the main base, and Cure is out of position. That's gonna cost him at least one worker if he doesn't walk straight into position. Here comes the Oracle, 1, 2, it's only 3 workers perhaps even. Yep, he should have left that into the refinery. 4 workers. Very nice control here out of Trap, and I think this game might actually just be kind of over at this point. 21 workers against 37. Combat shield gets cancelled, which means that the follow-up push here is going to be with just Stim. It's going to be of 2 racks, and it's going to consist of about 19 Marines. Unless Cure believes that he can just go back home and macro up, but I think that would be ill-advised. He's getting absolutely out ecoed at this point. I mean, the income is still pretty close, but it's 24 workers to 40. Third base is gonna go down. The tech isn't good here for Cure either. Now these Stalkers and Void Rays in the middle of the map might look like they're in danger because there's no blink, but they can just walk back. Of course, Cure isn't aware whether there's blink or not yet, so even if he would have caught these, stimming forward is kind of risky. Void Rays are going to go for a base trade move, and I think that is absolutely fine. Weird position for Stalkers to be at the bottom of a ramp. Will be capable of at least giving one shot towards these Marines and lose 2 Stalkers for free. Blink's on finish in a couple of seconds. 3 Stalkers go down. 4 Stalkers go down before this really starts. Cure might be in a... Nah, he just doesn't have enough crap. He just does not have enough crap. Void Rays are going to go across the map, look for that base trade. Honestly, not the cleanest hold here out of Trap, and not the cleanest play out of Trap after such a fabulous early game, but there's really just nothing that Cure can do. He's going to try to cancel this third base, but at what cost? Because all of these Marines will need to stim another time. Combat shield has finished at this point. Stim again, stim again. We need to run here. Blink is done though. He's going to maybe walk towards these bushes. Is that his plan? Could be his plan. See the Marine count about as high as the Stalker count at this point. That's generally not considered a good thing. Starts hiding into the bushes. Oracle here to save the day though. Blink forward and all of these Marines should actually fall. Void Ray not helping out yet. One more blink is of course completely possible. Here comes the Void Ray. We'll be able to target down one more. Maybe another one. Yeah, a lot of Marines went down here. Mine on the high ground might be capable of actually doing something, as the Revelation didn't quite hit that. Not sure if Trap is aware of that. He should be capable of seeing it. Yep, there we go. Loses 1 Stalker, but kills a bunch of Marines immediately. Void Ray helping out as well there with the high damage output. Stasis being put on top of the ramp as well. SCVs are going to get taken out by that. The Oracle survives. GG gets called as Cure has to tap out, and Trap wins game number 1. Game number 2. It's going to be played on Berlingrad here, one of the smaller maps in the map pool, together with Curious Minds. I think the smallest map. You see Trap opening up with a bit of a Reaper wall here on Berlingrad as well. Wants to make sure that Reapers aren't going to bully him, or at least will not be capable of getting that info that they usually do require. At the same time, we see no SCV moving on the map this time around, which means that Cure is going to be playing either slightly more standard, or he's going to be playing something from home, whether that's a double gas or a gas first. So far just looks like a standard barracks gas opener. Cool stuff out of Cure here. Nothing too spicy. Nothing too spicy whatsoever. You see, once again, this SCV not scouting for any potential proxies. Doesn't really care about that. Just wants to get across the map, get the information, see what's going on the other side. It's gonna get that information, or it's gonna get walled out. Once again, it's going to get walled out. This time around, though, that barracks timing is a little bit different, and thus something different can be happening here. You cannot know that. You cannot know what's going on as a protoss at this point. Can be 2 gas, can be single gas, can be no gas. Could be a command center building over here. Very unlikely, but technically still possible. Could have 3 barracks proxy there. I've seen it all. I really have seen it all. None of that is going to be the case. The one thing that Trap does want to get a confirmation on is that first unit out of the barracks. It's one of the most important things that there is. If you see a Marine here, you can be pretty darn sure that this is going to be a factory behind here somewhere. 90% of the time it's just going to be the case. So I'd be once again very surprised to see anything but a Stargate come down for Trap, who has been liking this Stargate play a lot in general. But not only that, also against this specific build order, the Stargate is just such a powerful tool to deal with any type of harass early on, that I always feel like things like Blink really do struggle with. Blink, Robo Openers, they're good, and if your units are accidentally in the correct position, they can even be perfect. But if your units are slightly out of position and you're getting Hellion dropped, which seems to be the case here, or Mine dropped, you can just be in a whole lot of trouble. Okay, it's going to be a Hellion drop. A couple of extra Marines being produced as well. Now this does of course mean that that natural CC of Cure is going to be extremely delayed. You see the 2 more Hellions will need to be built. At that point a starport unit will need to be built, which is most likely going to be a medevac. And all of these units cost minerals. And what does Cure really not have a whole lot of? Exactly, minerals. He's actually gonna go 2 car into a mine drop. Okay. This is really going to delay his natural CC. Armory's gonna go down. Even have a 4th depot. 5th depot, excuse me. We're already at 47 supply. That's a lot of stuff. That really is a lot of stuff that he's building all before the command center. This means that Trap... Oh no, he's getting triple gate rather than 2 gate and a robo. Kind of surprising, as the 3rd gate doesn't really contribute anything to that initial defense. Neither does the 2nd gate, by the way. Look at the timing of that 3rd gate. Its first warp in is going to start at what? What is the timing for that first warp in? 3:15 or something like that, or 4:15? No, later even. 4:15ish. Actually, does sound about correct. Yeah, by that time the Hellions are already or the mines are already into the main base. So the 3rd base has no real, or the 3rd gate has no real use. Well, the robotics facility faster would have been great against the potential mine drop. It's gonna follow up with a Tor. It's a 1-base Tor all in. Oh no. We've actually seen this build before. A couple of mines are going to drop. Uses the medevac as well. It's just extremely painful. 3 units go down. So we see no retargeting on this mine either. Observer isn't done yet. Hellions are trying to... oh, actually Hellbats are trying to burst open the door. It's not going to work out. Of course, Trap completely unaware of what's going on here. Doesn't have a 2nd battery in the back. Otherwise, I would say this looks kind of okay. At this point, I'm maybe even a little bit afraid. Trap immediately pulls away a bunch of his workers. He's gonna lose 1, he's gonna lose 2. He's gonna lose... Oh. Ooh, that's a nice little hit there. Gonna get 3 with that one. Mine tries to reposition. At the same time, the wall is being bonked at. Knock knock, who's there? Well, the entire Terran base has shown up to the party. But I only said you could take a +1. Well, we have a very big +1. He's gonna burst open your door and then the rest will come in. The batteries now are desperately trying to get down. Can we get a snipe on that Liberator? That's a really good snipe here immediately. Main focus almost always should be on the units that aren't the Thors. If you pretty much decrease the damage output out of your opponent from units that aren't the Thor, that is really a good thing. Because the Thor, just by itself, it sure does a lot of damage. But it does a whole lot of damage if there's no other units around. Tank is going to get taken out as well. Strap is going to try to pick up some reinforcements here with these Stalkers. Of course, the Thor is also a massive magnet here. It's a bit of a meat shield. 400 HP can be repaired. This battery is going to get targeted down as well. I think you can just right-click this Robo right now. Is instead going to be going for a couple of these Stalkers. Probes are being pulled. Stalkers are going to get taken out. I kind of do like that. I was going to almost lose that Liberator, but Liberator will stay alive. A couple more Marines are going to get rallied into these Stalkers. Another tank is going to show up. Not quite sure if it will ever arrive. Now the Immortal is out. A battery is going to finish as well. Do we have a super battery available? Yes, we do have a super battery available from the main base. Oh no, he's going to lose the battery before he gets to use it. Huge mistake here out of Trap, who was, I guess, kind of underestimated the range of that Thor. He's going to lose all of his Stalkers and now is in a world of trouble. There's still a bunch of probes mining in the natural. There's no more Stalkers on the main map. I'm so curious what Trap's plan is from here. I think the plan is just to leave the game, honestly, because I don't see much other options or many other options. Once again, one Stalker trying to blink around, going for the reinforcements. And I think at this point the force of Cure is just going to keep increasing and increasing. And there's really nothing that Trap can do about it. He doesn't have the mining. He's gonna get a sentry, but Thors can obviously just break sentry force field. So I'm quite sure what's gonna be happening there. Immortal on the side will start working on these SCVs, or well, these SCVs will start working on the Immortal as the Immortal goes down and all the SCVs survive. Single force field is gonna try to cut this in half. No, he's gonna try to block it out. You can of course just break this here with the Thor. Decides not to do it and instead just wait out his time. Viking's gonna hover over here to make sure that he has maximum vision. And now the tanks with that vision on the high ground are just pushing out a lot of damage. Liberator will ensure that nothing is going to jump into this tank. This tank may be a little vulnerable, but also not that bad. Here comes Trap, and there goes Trap. GG gets called Cure in game number 2. Game 3, the final game on Blackburn. Well, potentially the final game. It's also possible that it turns into a draw and we have a game number 4, which is technically game number 3. But most likely, this is going to be the final game. As we see SCV staying at home here for Cure. He's been playing some very aggressive StarCraft 2 today. Some very, very aggressive StarCraft 2, and I'm not quite sure what I think of it. Do I like it? Yes. But do I feel that if Cure would just get into a standard macro game from an opener that is good for him, that he also has a good shot? Yeah, I think so too. And so far both of his openers have been kind of gambly and relying on Trap to make mistakes. And Trap did make some mistakes in that last game, or at least picked a build order that wasn't quite optimal. Perhaps not getting a battery in time also wasn't brilliant. So yeah, it feels like Cure perhaps isn't too confident in this matchup when it goes to a more standard game. Of course, Cure also managed to take out Trap in the GSL this season. I think it was in the semifinals that they played. And there Cure also played some tricky tricks. ICV is gonna get pulled here and we'll start working on that probe so that the probe will stop working on that first SCV that's in the barracks. First time that this probe gets to see anything, by the way. Before, every single time he got locked out. It's nice to be able to join the party for once. Though he does get chased out of the party by 2 angry dudes with drills in their hands. Not quite sure if that's my definition of a party. CC gets thrown down immediately. So rather than doing the dance with the probe, he says, okay, I'm just going to put it off center and I'll float it over later. I think that might actually be better, but that's based on nothing but my own feelings, so I'm not sure if it is. Adept's going to get chrono boosted here. Warp Gate gets started immediately as well, so I am feeling a Twilight Council opener. I'm not quite sure if Trap saw the fact that there is a straight marine here, or if he didn't see that. And the follow-up for Cure is going to be a factory into reactor. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can either build the reactor first. This will mean you'll have more marines. Or you can build the factory first, and that means you have more factory units and less marines, because you're delaying your reactor. So usually at 302, Marine 4 and 5 would finish, and now I think it's 257, 256, Marine 2 and 3 will finish. So you're just gonna have a lot less marines than usual. It's really the truth. Yeah, you see? 255 actually. 256, yeah. 256, 257. So you would have basically, on some maps you would only have 1 marine for an adept, because this adept was a little bit slow, stayed home because it might have been afraid of a reaper. That's going to be completely fine. Now the Hellion is going to be capable of moving out, rather than finishing at 318, that Hellion finishes at 302. So it's a solid 16 seconds faster than if you play reactor first. Now that I've shown off all my knowledge, let's actually see what this Hellion is going to be capable of doing. Well, if it gets a worker, that's actually huge. Well, huge. It's nice. It's going to get 2. It's going to get 3. It's going to get 3. This is big. This is really big, actually. This is still very early on in the game. The problem is that he didn't get a scout into the main base, though. But if you see a Stalker... no, he saw the Robo. He's completely fine. Oh, he knows it all. If you see a gateway, a robo, and a stalker, really the only thing it can be is a Twilight Council. You could say, if you see 2 adepts, a gate and a robo, it could be a Phoenix save up in the main base into 2 base Colossi with like Phoenix Colossi type of stuff. But if you see adept, stalker, robo, and gate on the low ground at this timing, no shot, right? It is technically possible, but it doesn't make much sense because that stalker just delays everything. I'm surprised we're seeing a 7 marine drop. This almost never does anything ever. The reason that we see it is, I think, because Cure wanted to get a straight tech lab after his Hellion. If this was a mine drop, this potentially could have been insanely bad here for Trap. It really could have been. Trap got very lucky that Cure decided to go for a tech lab and tank, because Trap already took damage in the early game. He would have taken more damage from the mine drop because his blink wouldn't have been done yet, and he would have had less units because he had less money to work with early on because he lost these 3 workers and he had to pull off the line. Now we're going to be seeing a classic Trap move, and oh my god. Okay, this is new. Or well, it's not completely new, it's just different. And different doesn't always mean bad. So something that Trap has been doing a lot lately is taking a third base off of 2 gases, very fast third base, getting good mineral eco, and then going into double gases and a fast, bigger type of tech. And whether that's the Robo Bay or the Templar Archives doesn't really matter at that point. And I think the reason why it's the Templar Archives is either he saw the Raven with his Observer, or he saw, hey, wait a second, you're doing a 7 Marine drop in a medevac. There's no other starport unit. There's no other factory units here yet. Most likely that's going to be tank. And it's very rare to see someone open up blind tanks without a Raven. These tanks and Ravens kind of come together. You know, it's a package deal. Very, very often. I'm also surprised in general to see a Raven tank build without opening up with a 3rd CC. This is also something that isn't quite common. Now we have a scan out of Cure and it's going to see, well, nothing. It just sees nothing. It sees everything that the Hellion scouted at the 4-minute mark. That's what it sees, which is nothing. 6 gas? I actually think that Trap thinks that there is a triple CC here. Trap believes he's playing against 3 command centers, and as a result he's down 20 supply. His Storm is going to finish, which is extremely important because his army sucks. And it doesn't just suck a little bit, like his army is hot garbage at this point. It can fight absolutely nothing. He needs to get batteries up. He's getting batteries up. He needs to get more units out. Trap is seeing this army moving out. The Raven went into the main base and got feedbacked, I think, or fatbackered. This push is hitting so late. 7:05. Oh my god. I think Cure messed up a build order here, or messed up a read. I really can't imagine this ever being good. Combat shield finishing at 7:25. That's a full minute later than most 3-Rex timings hit. A full minute later. And because Trap played so greedy here, went up to 6 gas blindly. He was on 7 Stalkers and 4 Templar. That was it. I don't even think his Storm finished at the timing where you usually get hit. Very painful opener here, honestly, for Cure. Did finish his 3rd CC at this point, but I mean, I feel like his timing has kind of passed. Now it's going to be Trap who's going to be on the map. Well, he still doesn't have a whole lot of units right away. I like this run by a lot. I really do like this run by a lot. The reason why I like this one so much is because often when you're defending with Storm, is that the Terran tries to have the fights as long as possible. So slowly pushing forward, big pre-splits, that type of stuff. If you have a big run by with a bunch of Zealots, you force the Terran to move into you. And if you force the Terran to move into you, what happens so often is that they get stormed. That's a good thing. So I really do like this out of out of Trap. I love this run by. It wouldn't even surprise me if... well, actually, what wouldn't surprise me? Not quite sure what wouldn't surprise me. I am surprised to see this Prism go in at this point. Looks like Trap is going to get aggressive here. We see the Zealots move in. First tank is going to get taken out. Second tank is going to get taken out. And the third tank is also most likely going to get taken out. Yep, here we go. Storms are available. A couple of turrets are going to get put down. Single turret for now. Main base has been secured. 156 supply against 129. Lots of money in the bank though for Trap, who's transitioning into a robotics bay as well as a second robotics facility. This gold will not be killed, as a 6 Stalker warp in will make sure of that. There goes the medevac as well, or there almost goes the medevac. One more Stalker will go down. Good for Trap here. Was his first upgrade, immediately starts going into Disruptors rather than into Colossi. Says, hey, I'm afraid of your army, and I don't think Colossi are going to be capable of helping me out here short term. We have Gravitic Drive here on the way. Do we even have a Prism? No, we don't have a Prism. We do not have a Prism whatsoever. Gold minerals now are going to get mined. We have a hallucination, which is gonna die immediately. Can we get a good EMP? Can we get a good EMP? We get one EMP, we get a second EMP. Of course, on these high energy High Templar, you need double EMPs to get rid of all their storms. Not the greatest EMP, only takes out 100 energy of these Templar. First 4 Disruptors are out at this point, and the Immortals do give this army some backbone, but there still always is... Oh my god, this is a huge run by again. There still always is the possibility of just jumping on top of this army after a couple of good EMPs. Trap is looking for damage. He's going in with the Disruptors, with the Templar, and he's looking for the kill. Let's see if he's going to be capable of doing that. Gold base still mining for Trap. See a lot of mules working here. 3.8k mineral income currently for Cure, who is maxed out. He's getting into 2-2. Second Forge on the way at this point as well for a good friend Trap. And rather than getting Templar into this Prism, he decides it's time for a couple of Zealots once again to enter that main base. Where's that 4cc? Okay, 4cc is up here. We're going to be going into 3 more barracks as well, so an 8 Rex type of play, which means that higher Stargate unit counts are going to be unlikely, and most likely we'll see either more Vikings or more... or not more Vikings, but more Marauder, more Ghost, rather than Vikings or even a Liberator switch. Just extremely unlikely. Also, we see no upgrades whatsoever into those ship weapons, so that makes even more sense. Even though I do... Oh my god, that was some nice EMPs there on these probes. Now Cure is going to get semi-surrounded. There's another army here, and ends up perhaps being our good friend Trap that's going to get surrounded. Target fire isn't perfect there out of Cure. We'll still get some of these Disruptors before... they all get to shoot, but this wasn't the trade I think that Cure was hoping for. Now the Prism gets into the main base. The Zealots also run towards the natural, and Cure actually wasn't really in a position to straight up engage this army. He could potentially deny some mining here, but walking forward would have been way too difficult. 37 workers go down, 40 workers go down on the side of Cure. And it's looking very dark right now for our Red Terran player. Trap immediately decides to keep pushing. I don't quite understand that. He just destroyed his opponent's economy. All that Trap really needs to do at this point is not die, and as long as he manages that, I think he's going to be just fine. A couple of Disruptor shots are being sent down. Good storm hits as well. Feedback also being used here. Nice control out of this army out of Trap. Uses a storm to kind of zone. Disruptor count has fallen a little bit though, but the money in the bank is big enough. Same can be said for a Cure here, by the way. Still floating 1100 minerals, even though his income is almost nothing. We need more Disruptors in this army though, Trap. I think Trap might be overestimating the power of his army here. A couple of good EMPs can make short work of this. There's a lot of damage output. With no storms available, Marines are just going to get better, and this army has a crap ton of Marines. This is why usually even having just 1 or 2 Colossi is so useful, because the Marines, they die so quickly against them. Fleet Beacon, 2 extra Stargates. This seems like a luxury switch at this point. I'm not quite sure if it is necessary. I wouldn't have minded going into DTs from here, but on the other hand, you know what? Cure actually seems to be going for a turtling move. And if your opponent is turtling, or you believe your opponent is turtling, then yeah, carrier is going to be a very good transition, especially if they're poor and turtling. Here comes the first disruptor shot. Hello, can we get it? There we go. It's gonna hit some of these units. And this is all 3 trades, of course, for Trap. Trap's just gonna keep sending in these disruptor shots, and he can wait. He's not in a hurry, or he should not be in a hurry. There's a Zealot Warp in here on the top side as well. I actually think this might be... Oh my god. T4 controller out of here is gonna lose a lot of units to that first disruptor shot. Kills 2 disruptors at the same time as well. Almost loses a full medevac. Doesn't quite. Disruptor's going to hit 2 more Marines. The Zealots are going to start moving in. There's a Prism over here. Once again, Cure is gonna try to stay alive. +3 ground weapons are finishing up here for Trap. Trap in just a very dominant position at this point. Starting his first 3 carriers. Not a single air weapons upgrade though, which means that they're going to be fighting against +2 armored Marines, Marauders and Ghost. Not an ideal fight, but I think the disruptors on the ground should be capable enough by themselves. We have a bit of a storm drop as Trap seems to be styling on his opponent right here. These disruptors moving forward, a bit of a sneak attack. 1, 2, oh, Cure was paying attention. And now Cure is going to throw 1 EMP on that. There's only, I think, a single disruptor shot remaining at this point. Trap needs to be so careful. He has already got an EMP. He's going to keep going. But all of these disruptors are currently out of a shot. Is Cure going to jump on it? No, he's not. Cure's just waiting it out. He's waiting it out. He says, I don't think I can do it. Takes out one of these disruptors. Is going to lose the planetary. And at this point, I think Cure needs to pull the trigger. Cure needs to say, hey, I can't take it anymore. I need to go. And he does need to go. Like there's no way he can wait this out. He has 10 Ghosts, he has 14 Marauders, 31 Marines. He just lost another base. Like his opponent just continues mining more, increasing the size of his bank. I love these Templars being saved at home for a potential counterattack. In case you do lose a fight, this is going to be your backup. What is the gateway count? It's only 9. Yeah, I don't even think it's gonna matter. We have the Stargates producing. Here comes Trap, and he's going in for the final push. Good EMPs though. 2 disruptors fall down immediately. These 2 disruptors completely whiff as well. What's there left disruptor-wise? 2 more disruptor shots remaining. There is a Prism here. Templar are gonna start moving forward. Oh my god, that's a nice storm. Can we get a feedback? No. Gets taken out before he can cast that feedback. 2 more Stormers are coming in. This 6th base should be given up. Or he can just try to defend it as well, of course. Also completely allowed. The carriers are coming in. And Trap is moving forward for his final push. Marines in the back dishing out a lot of damage. But I don't quite think this is going to be enough. Storms are hitting absolutely everything. Interceptors are running dry though. And Vikings in the sky actually doing a fair amount of damage. There's no more disruptor shots. Medevac count is still high as well. And now all of a sudden it's Trap that's getting pushed back. Still has a lot of money in the bank. Archon gets taken out. This base is going to get destroyed as well. We're 3 base versus 5. 1500 minerals still in the bank. That was a good fight here for Cure, who's in total up in resources lost. Or well, he has less resources lost. So he's winning in my book. He's going to try pushing into this base right now, and I do like that. It's going to get flanked by a couple of Zealots. Medevacs are running kind of empty, and now Trap once again is going to try to come down here. That could be targeted down, Cure. He's going to lose a lot of units against that 1 disruptor shot. It's kind of sloppy control this far. His anti-disruptor micro isn't up to par with the other top Terrans, I have to admit. This is also being played on the Korean server, so I'm actually a little bit surprised there. Compared to a Maru or a Clam. These guys are so keen on sniping these disruptors. I have 1 Colossi coming out, another EMP hits. Cure seems to be taking his sweet time here. Taking out this base and now trying to push up this ramp. I don't think that is quite possible. Vikings from a distance are trying to shoot. Stalkers are helping out though. We're gonna get a blink back. Mine won't hit. We still have this army here on the top side as well. Single storm remaining there. 4 more carriers are out right now. 5 carriers are out as the army from the top side also joins in. And now Cure actually is going to get pushed back. He's going to get pushed back hard, and I think he's going to get pushed back out of this game. Very painful. Prism already on the map. 2 more Colossi, or 1 more Colossi on the way, I believe. Yep. Armor is about to finish up as well. Finally here for Trap. It's just painful. The It's very, very painful. Cure is going to die. For a second there, I started believing, and I think Cure also started believing. Trap still with a lot of money in the bank, with a lot of income as well. Managed to take it home. The carriers, a little bit too much damage output. GG gets called. Trap wins this series 2-1. Alright, that's going to be it for today. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye.